So besides the functions we have mentioned in the previous slide, there are also some other functions of the operating system, like start and shut down a computer, provide a user interface, configure the devices, establish internet connection, monitor the performance of multiple programs, provide the utilities, automatically update the system, control network, administer security. So first, let's look at the system booting. It's a process of starting or restarting a computer, so it's called the booting. And there are two basic types of booting, the cold boot and the warm boot. Cold boot is like you're turning on the computer that has been powered off completely. Warm boot is sometimes also called the restart. So there's a small program called bootloader. It's a program in the ROM. It's not in the regular main memory. It's in the ROM because this program is very important. Even though you turn off your computer, the program is still there. So we have to put it in the ROM. So this run by the CPU when the power is turned on and transfer the operating system from mass storage to the main memory. It will execute jumps to the operating system. So initially, your operating system is stored on the disk, and the bootloader is in the ROM, and this is your main memory, so which is the volatile memory. So when you turn on your computer, the bootloader will load your operating system from the disk into the main memory, and then the main operating system will take control. So the operating system will control the whole system, to perform all the functions provided by the operating system. So shutting down a computer can have two different ways, the sleep mode and the hibernate mode. Sleep is like you can save all of your opened documents and programs into the RAM. So everything is still in the RAM. The second mode is called hibernate. So some of the system has the hibernate mode. So in this case, all of your running programs will be stored on the hard disk. So in this time, even though you power off your machine, everything has been perfectly stored in the hard disk. So next time when you turn on your machine, all the content will be loaded from the hard disk into the main memory, so you can keep your previous state. User interface, or UI for short, control how you enter the data or instructions and how the information is displayed on the screen. And the graphical user interface, which is the easier way for the users to interact with the computer. It's usually including some menus or windows or icons or like folders, etc. So the components including a menu bar, toolbar, like vertical scroll bar, horizontal scroll bar, status bar, list arrows, windows, checkbox, etc. So all of these are pretty common user interface components. And the second type of user interface is command line interface. So it's like a black window where you can input your instructions or commands there, so which is also very important. And because of course the command line interface need less resources. So in this case, if your computer doesn't really have too much resource, you can actually run the command line interface instead of the graphical user interface. And actually, most of the programmers working especially in the Linux system, they prefer to use the command line interface because it's very efficient. You don't need to move your mouse here and there. You just keep your hands on the keyboard. You can tap in any commands that can run very complicated programs or run very complicated instructions. So the device driver is a small program that handle the device. So whenever you want to have a new device, you probably need to install the device driver. And sometimes the operating system already has the device driver, and sometimes you have to download the device driver from the manufacturer of the device. And plug and play is a technique that can automatically recognize the device and configure the device. So nowadays, most of the USB devices, support plug and play. So like if you buy a new keyboard, buy a new mouse, you can just plug the device into the USB port, and the system can recognize the device immediately. So network support, operating system typically provides a stack of network softwares so that the system can support the network. Performance monitor is also important because sometimes you want to check out the resources of your system, see what is the utility of the different type of resources, and also sometimes you want to check which program is actually occupying majority of the resources. So this is called a performance monitor. Automatic update, which is also widely used in most of the operating systems, because sometimes the operating system can provide some patches or some important updates, so they can automatically download and install the update. So the operating system often provides users with the capability of managing files, searching files, viewing images, securing a computer, uninstalling the program or installing the program, cleaning up the disk. All of these are called, some of them called the utility softwares, some of them are called the user applications. And we're not going to discuss every one of them. It's easy to understand the function of these applications.